Hey Aries, how are you? Welcome to your November 2020 reading, and welcome to Scorpio season. Let's get into it. Six of Pentacles. The Moon. Three of Cups. I think right now, internally, you are feeling imbalanced. You feel on the end of the scale that you do not like falling on. Your current internal state is one that you despise greatly. The full moon coming up in a few days on the 31st is a boiling point. It brings these feelings within you even more to the forefront, making you want to do or mingle with people out of a place of insecurity, because you're overcompensating for the fact that you feel, the fact that you feel like you have the lower hand right now. The moon has been, October has been a very moon driven month, considering the fact that we started out with a full moon on the 1st, we're ending with a full moon on the 31st. The full moon on the 1st was in your sign of Aries. So, what is coming up and out now is stuff that you're kind of familiar with. It's things that have been kind of circling around in your psyche for the entire month of October, and going into November, you are still feeling the remnants of this. Make sure that you're not mingling with people because you feel internally insecure or threatened by them in some sort of way. Don't go out of your way to put yourself in positions to have certain types of encounters and interactions with people that you have no interest in, other than they are offsetting this feeling that you're kind of experiencing internally. Okay? Let's see. Knight of Wands, Two of Cups. You will have the opportunity to express how it is that you've been feeling and work through it in a way that is fresh in November. The first three cards are kind of ending October as we're going into November. The Knight of Wands is very much a potential energy that you can ride out depending on how you choose to navigate through this full moon coming up in a couple of days, since I am filming this at the end of October. Knight of Wands, Two of Cups. Opportunities to communicate with things that are written for you, things that you have written into the picture for yourself and brought forward. You have the opportunity now to build your life from the ground up So long as you get out of this kind of whiny energy, the only person that's putting you in this lower type position right now is you. You're choosing to fixate on all the areas in your life in which you are in that position, and so you are perpetuating it. The moon is showing you where you are doing this, and so if you choose not to listen, that isn't really the universe's problem. It's all laid out in front of you in the moonlight. You've had this entire month of October to allow that moonlight to enlighten you. If you choose to go out and harness that energy in other people to make you feel uplifted in more artificial ways, more earthly ways, then it's not ideal for you, because what you're setting yourself up for, like, let's not forget that everything is a transition. So the bricks that you're laying today is your foundation tomorrow. So the quality of the experience that you have now dictates what goes on in November. And what the cards are representing right now is that with the Two of Cups and then the Ten of Cups, you have the opportunity to embark on new territory that you've never been in before, and that is really fresh. And things that you have written into this life for yourself a long time ago, these things are wanting to come to you in this space via people, things, places, ideas. These things are wanting to find you. More importantly, this emotional fulfillment is wanting to bestow itself upon you. The Ten of Cups energy is a very safe, comforting energy. It's a vibration that allows you to feel so supported that you can launch off of that haven, right? And have the belief in yourself and the faith to take risks, to take leaps of faith, and not have to even question whether or not the emotional foundation that you're resting upon is secure or not. You guys are very strong and very strong-willed, right? But I think you know where the holes in your ship are. You know where the fronts are. You know where you are compensating and giving off this persona of something or someone who is like realized in a certain area, but yet you know on an internal level that you maybe aren't as secure in that area, or elevated in that area, or educated in that area, or whatever the thing, whatever the weak spot, you are aware of where you fall short within yourself. Nobody else does. You do a good job at putting on the brave face, and it isn't just a role that you assume. It is a place that you live in, right? But like I said, the holes in the ship, these are things that can be patched and repaired. These are the things that the moonlight has been allowing you to dive into and uncover within yourself, right? The Eight of Swords, that feeling of vulnerability, whenever that nerve is struck within you, that nerve of uncomfortability or of vulnerability or of you having to admit to yourself that you aren't as far along as you would like to be in this area of your life, and that that's okay, and that the only way that you can actually have any shot of shifting that area of life is if you give it attention and if you give it the air to breathe and to heal, and you start taking action steps, no matter if they're big or small, to allow that area to develop. Rather than, it's like if you walk around with like a broken ankle, you're not going to put pressure on that ankle, right? But do you want to walk around for 15 years or 10 years or however long not putting pressure on that ankle just because you don't want to admit to yourself that it's broken and it needs to be, you know what I mean? Okay. What I'm saying is you guys are the initiators, right? Initiate the shift and the change within you, and soon you will realize that actually it is very it becomes very clear to you that your vibration, your mood, your feelings of worthiness or of competence all lie in your hands, and how you choose to perceive yourself, the situation at hand, and how you want to go about it. Once you realize this, like what I said with the 10 of Cups, it's something that gives you a lot of security within yourself, so you can go out and feel comfortable to express yourself in new ways, to maybe to really embody that fool-like energy that is associated with you, and just being able to willingly and faithfully just stumble into new areas of life where you may not be developed in those areas yet, but it is the action in and of itself of just faithfully and willingly walking into that new experience in which you will gain the knowledge and how to navigate that new area. That is what is associated with Aries. That's what you guys are best at, right? Where you guys get tripped up, though, is if you let your ego get too ahead of itself, and you hold yourself back from making those little minor mistakes or major mistakes, which then lead to corrections. You can't expect a baby to go and walk a mile when it just learned how to take 3 steps. You know what I mean? Like, you have to realize your place. Remember who you are. Remember your place in the zodiac. Remember that you are that first realization. You are that first like light ray that is entering this new space. I'm not talking this situation, I'm just talking in general, Aries in general. You guys are not meant to enter a space having full-blown knowledge and awareness of what is going on in that space. It is your job to find places out. Okay. So, The King of Cups is really representative of that for you. You're feeling comfortable now in your space to really channel and embody this energy. This is a really good thing. All of that was just trying to explain to you what the King of Cups and the Ten of Cups partnered together is for you. It is a safety bubble, quote unquote, of this emotional fulfillment that has nothing to do other than your security within yourself. Because you're very aware of the reality of what your situation is. You're being very honest with yourself. You're in a space where you can allow your emotions to filter through you okay. Nine of Wands, right? Yeah. Yeah. Nine of Wands. You're allowing these emotions, these feelings to be able to be filtered through you without feeling, what I was going to say is like insecure by them. The fear of entering a new space, the unknown, the lack of familiarity in a place, when you hold yourself back from stepping into those new spaces, at the root of that, you are holding back that part of you that is meant to find new spaces out, new energetic spaces out. You are holding that captive in the name of not wanting to look like the guy that doesn't know anything, or looking like the guy that is, first on the job. You're letting your ego get the best of you when you do that, is what I'm trying to say. That in and of itself, I think, is one of those holes in your boats that you're aware of. You're aware sometimes that your ego can get the best of you. And diving in to that idea in and of itself, to even initiate the work and the change, is kind of scary, because it involves having to admit to yourself where you may have developed not so ideal behavior out of the atrophying position. I know that, let me link it, like what I was saying with if you have a broken ankle, right? If you don't go and get a broken ankle fix for, like, let's say 10 years, and you're not walking on it, like, God forbid, right? By the time you address it finally 10 years later, that ankle isn't going to be moving the same way that it would have if you went and addressed it immediately. There's now other muscles that have been overcompensating or not being used, and other muscles that have been, being overused and overworked to compensate for that injury. And so now you're not just dealing with the ankle, you're dealing with, and I'm not like into anatomy, so this is just a analogy. You now have to address multiple different areas. That may be a possibility for you. I'm not going to lie to you and say that it isn't, but also I'm going to say to you, stand in line. It's something that we all have to do in our own way. That's another thing I want to communicate to you. If other people make you feel dumb for being in a new space, exploring, and figuring things out as you go, that is just projection on their end. Do you see them in your position, exploring new areas and new spaces within their life, taking risks, stepping into new areas or new boardrooms or new meetings or new jobs, new friendships, new relationships? Looking to learn and just receive the knowledge from that? Okay. Let's see. I hope this is all making sense. I know we haven't talked a lot specifically about like November in general, but this is just the energy that's playing out for you this month. This month is about you finally honoring your nature and fully stepping into this unknown space that you have felt calling you for quite some time, that you have your foot in already, that you like to go and visit but then scurry out of because you're scared to stay there the whole time. Mars goes direct on the 14th. That's a major gateway for you. That's a major gateway. You want to make sure wherever you are in this, on this spectrum, you want to make sure that by the time Mars goes direct, you are noticing and feeling and recognizing and acknowledging out loud in your external reality all the areas of your life that encourage, produce, and maintain these two spaces within you. Because when Mars goes direct on the 14th in your sign, it is like a slingshot being pulled all the way back and being released. And if you are not resting on that stable foundation in these rocky waters, it will be 10 times harder for you to get back on and situate yourself once that momentum ramps up. You don't want the feeling that's going to be perpetuated to be this one. Okay. I think you understand that. Two more cards that came out. Three of Swords, Ace of Wands. Like I said, you don't want that Mars momentum push to be even more lostness in this, in the past, that you've been clinging on to and wanting to pull into your reality, whether it be through new or old familiar ways. Yes, you heard that right. New or old familiar ways. Three of Swords. Ace of Wands. Healing is, it's in your, that ball is in your court, and it has been, is what I get when I look at this. Just like I said earlier, when I said that you're the only one that puts you in this position. That's what I mean when I say that ball of healing, that ball that is healing, that metaphorical ball that is healing, is in your metaphorical court. And it has been. Mars going direct is another extension and upcoming push of that energy. So if there have been little droplets of this energy bestowed upon you before that you have ignored, no need to worry. Mars going direct is another one. And as long as you cling on to that spark, and all that spark is just that faith in yourself and holding on to the knowing that you are meant to explore the new spaces. It's what you are here to do as an Aries. You don't need to fight this new road. It is one of those things where, like, you know, when you are at Six Flags, or maybe you don't relate to this because you're an Aries, or maybe you do. But there are some people that will go to like Six Flags and spend an hour and a half waiting in line and spend that entire hour and a half in a complete state of anxiety, panic, kicking and screaming, kind of, you know, just in their head, they have it in their mind that they will, you know, that they might get out of line and just like stay on the side while, you know, their friends go on, and they're like mentally deliberating it all the way up until they get on the damn ride. And then, you know, even once again, they're putting the seatbelt on, the harness, the whatever, and still this anxiety, right? Just pumping through the veins. Everything in your bones wants to get off that damn ride. And then 10 seconds into the ride, you're literally having the best time of your life. Even if it's scary, it's in a new kind of way. You're thrilled because you're on it. And then you get off the ride and you're like, okay, can we go on that one again? Or here, let's go to the next one. Right? That's kind of like what this is. I feel like once you touch down both feet onto this new path that you've been kind of trying to avoid, you know, touching base on, you are going to very quickly realize that it's a feeling that you want to build upon and increase, which you will. But that, again, like I said with the Two of Cups and with the Ten of Cups, these are things that you've really wanted. And I think sometimes when we're really panicked and we're in a state of fear, we can be really quick to discard things that we want and or need, just in an effort to ditch or dodge the immediate, you know, threat, quote unquote. And I think that what you're going to realize is that there are a lot of things that you really wanted that maybe you convinced yourself over time, and maybe you didn't really want that much, and then they show up again in a new way that reignites that passion within you. Okay? It's a really deep month. You're going deep. You're reaching past these like wounds on the surface, and you're going in and doing the healing, which in the deep healing there's always transformation. Okay? The Ten of Pentacles is what November holds for you. Security. We have the Ten of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups, so you're set. You have emotional security. You're secure and stable in your internal life, in your internal spaces. And on a very practical, more worldly level, you are supported and have or are quickly building a secure, like, haven, like a nesting. Yeah, you're allowing yourself now to build with this new energy. Okay, I love you, Aries. See you in December.